My name is Nathan Rector. I'm the director of Duke Outdoor Adventures, and I am a PhD candidate at University of North Carolina, Greensboro in the Department of Geography. The group of Duke students are on top of Vaughn, which is at the base of Meru and Shivling in the Indian Himalaya. We're doing research, climate research, specific to the Gangotri Glacier, which is the headwaters of the Ganges River. Climate change has impacted this glacier. It's a massive glacier. Over the years, I've been doing research since 2017 of just kind of documenting and seeing like how the glacier has receded. And trying to get this story out, we are here to document the story of the Hindu pilgrims, those participating in last chance tourism, coming to see the glacier before it's gone, as well as collecting some data as far as like how much sediment loss is being kind of discharged into the river as the glacier recedes up the valley. So that's what the group is here doing. In addition to that, the students that are here that have signed up for this, they're here to gain experience in the mountains, doing research in the field, all the soft skills that are needed to do field research, because these are the students that are going to be doing that type of field research in the future. And so they're really here stepping way outside their comfort zone, building community amongst us, learning how to exist in communities and cultures that are very different from what we operate within, and really just building their own kind of resume so they can go out and do their own research someday.
This is the first OA trip that has a significant research component to it, and my hope is that the success of this trip will lead to more OA trips that tie in both fun and outdoors and conservation with learning, to really make OA into a center of learning and research at Duke, not just a center of fun.
I think getting to experience studying a glacier on site and getting to see it with my own eyes is such an incredible opportunity, and something I'm so grateful that Outdoor Adventures has allowed me to experience. I think looking at my own future academic wishes, I'm really excited to continue to study glaciers, and especially how glaciers interact with their communities.
Well, I was most excited to come on this trip because we would be collecting a lot of data that I could use in my own projects, and through our use of like the gravelometer and testing the turbidity and the interviews, I'm really excited to go back to Duke and use this data to build both like a little database on measuring like the Gangotri like erosion over time, and also like a model to predict how climate change will affect the river going forward, which I think is really useful. And it was the first chance I had to really collect my own data instead of borrowing someone else's.
Well, I decided to take on the second major Earth and Climate Sciences maybe a few weeks ago, so I don't really have that much experience. And it's very exciting to be out in the field and see how fieldwork works in real life. And for sure, I really want to be able to do fieldwork in the future and probably do research in the field. So that's been a very nice first experience.
I've learned so much. I had a really long conversation with T2 about medicine in Missouri and then also here, and he's kind of the primary responder for a lot of what we would consider search and rescue in the United States, and so learning about that and how that's handled here was really interesting, as well as getting to look around the hospitals here and learning about what it means to be rural and to have healthcare in rural settings. So that has been really cool. And then even up here in the mountains, some of the buildings, one of them is labeled as a clinic, and it's pretty unassuming from the outside, but it's interesting to think about the history of this place and how those buildings have served different purposes.
The chance to interview the Hindu pilgrims I thought was the most rewarding part of the trip so far. And through their testimony, I think I learned two really important things. The first was a reverence for the climate that the pilgrims had, and a reverence for their river, the mother goddess Ganga, and also for all of the Himalaya like natural resources. And the second thing that I learned is just real testimony about how climate change affects all of us. From the really cold places in the world, like here in the Himalayas, we've been collecting data showing, how climate change is affecting the mountains and the river, all the way down to the plains of Delhi, all the way back to America. Climate change really affects all of us. And something I've been thinking about a lot is if we were able to capture some of that reverence that exists here in the East and bring it back to the West, we would have a better approach to tackling climate change.
Areas like this, the glaciers that are being impacted by climate change, people don't see, they don't experience. A lot of times, a lot of the data that is being shared to the public is from satellites, stuff like that. And so we're here not only to collect data that you can only get being right next to the glacier, but also to collect the stories of the people who live next to the glacier and who are most impacted. Hindu pilgrims and Indians are commercially, spiritually, and economically impacted by this glacier receding. And so it's impossible to tell the story completely if we do not tell the story of the people who are impacted the most. And so that's why we're up here collecting these stories, so that when we do present the data of how the glacier is being impacted, how it's receding due to climate change, it's not only the numbers, but also the impact of the lives, with the hope that the people that are reading this story, this data, are emotionally connected to those that are most impacted by this.
I thought serving was incredible because when we were in the town Gangotri, we would be going around trying to get these surveys, and you would go from talking to an Indian professor who would give us a 20-minute lecture on his belief on Hinduism and spirituality, and then you would go from that to talking to a rural family who had spent a lot of years and a lot of money to come experience this temple. So it was really important to get all of these different experiences and be able to internalize them in a way that you really wouldn't get from just reading about Gangotri or just watching videos about the place.
Most people who are basically pilgrims, they don't have any planning. They're just in a found off, they're basically looking for the God, or looking for something that makes them happy, or some people also connects it with washing their sins, what they've done in life, into river Ganga. So basically, there are many concepts and stories like that. Many Babajis coming up the mountain, reaching the source, or even going up to Tapovan, and you can look at them. They don't even have mountaineering gear or any fancy gear. They're just in their dhoti and kurta, which is a simple one cloth, and they're wearing that and reaching up the mountaintop. I don't know what they're looking for, and maybe the happiness inside them. I don't know.
Students that are here collecting this data and having this hands-on experience, every evening we sit down and we debrief and we go through what went well, what are the stories that we're hearing, what are solutions and stuff like that. And so on the secondary part is there's not a lot of opportunities that students get to come out and have this type of extreme, way off the beaten path, outside of comfort zone experience. Very hands-on. We mess up, we debrief, we find out what's going to work best, and then they deal with the stress of being in an environment where we're not just surviving, we're thriving, every day. And so to give these students that experience that they're going to be able to take home, those soft skill intangibles to be able to work in an expedition team in a hard environment fills the cup for one of my goals at Duke, especially with outdoor adventures, so that when these students leave Duke, they not only have all of the education, but they have all of the experience to go out there and succeed.
When I heard about this OA trip, I was honestly shocked because I just never really envisioned having an international opportunity like this. And just in general, I never saw myself having an opportunity to come to the Himalayas or do any sort of field research like this. And so this trip just means the world to me. It's such an incredible environment to explore, and also I just feel so safe here. I know that I'm in good hands to be doing all these kinds of crazy things and putting myself outside of my comfort zone, but still be supported by people that I trust, and also knowing that I'm in an environment that I can grow. And so this OA trip has just been incredible for so much personal growth and also personal interest. And so I think I've been learning so much and also developing my skills, because this is a really challenging environment, but I feel supported and safe doing so. And so I think I'm taking a lot out of this opportunity, and I'm really grateful for it.
I spent this past year dancing in an Indian dance team rhythm, and it's been like very amazing to like experience the culture even from the US and like have people tell me about India from before. So like coming here was really magical, like seeing how like integrated the culture is and how many different people there are, and just like being able to actually experience the place that I've heard so much about in real life was like pretty special.
I think this trip has been such an incredible opportunity to blend both my passion for earth and climate science, especially glaciology, with my love for backpacking and getting to experience very remote settings in different areas of the world. I love that this trip allowed me to experience a country and a culture that is very different from my own, as well as helping to push myself out of my comfort zone. I've really enjoyed that this trip has been able to blend both my passion for earth and climate science and getting to experience the world through that lens of knowledge, with also being able to develop my leadership skills, my outdoor skills, with a group of people who are very supportive and who want to push me to be a version of my best self.
I've always enjoyed taking pictures and videos because I think how I got into the outdoor space was not through anyone pushing me into it, but just through like watching movies or looking at pictures on the internet. So whenever I take pictures or take videos and I share them with people, I feel like I might be doing the same favor for someone else. In regards to this trip, I feel like not being the official photographer, but the one who always has his camera out, has really made me look for special moments. And I think that's been very important. I feel in a way it almost makes me more present because I'm always trying to capture a moment of happiness or a moment of challenge. And I think looking back on those memories is something that will always be appreciated.
After this, hopefully starting in September, I'll be moving to Senegal for 2 years with the Peace Corps. So I think this has been a really incredible experience with talking to people from a different culture, learning about different religions, navigating language barriers, and just kind of being in a foreign environment with a whole group of new people. And so I think that it's been really helpful with pushing me outside of my comfort zone and showing me that I'm capable of it.
So through Outdoor Adventures, being a trip leader across the years really taught me so many valuable skills that I genuinely use in my everyday life. Being a trip leader helped me develop a lot of flexibility and adaptability just as circumstances change when you're in the outdoors, camping with weather. So do things change just in life all the time. So I think developing skills through OA has really helped me in everything I do now. But also being a trip leader and being able to come on these types of OA trips has really shown me that I have a place in the outdoors, as this wasn't really something that I grew up doing. And so now professionally I'm working in outdoor education thanks to the OA trips, and that's really been super engaging for me. I feel really passionate about it, and now I'm able to help kids of all kinds of backgrounds also find their own space in the outdoors. And so I really have all of OA to thank for that. So I'm definitely taking it with me in everything I do now.
I think it's been a really good way to round out my Duke experience, especially after the chaos of senior year and graduation. It's been nice to just be present, and it's an incredible opportunity to come to a place that I don't think I would ever be able to experience otherwise. So that's been really wonderful.
So I'm starting working in OA next year, and that's been a very great introduction to just like the way the program works and like introduction to the people. And also just, it's been very great to see the relationships between people, and I'm very excited to like meet the rest of OA and yeah, be part of it.
One of the things I've been grappling a lot is I love mountains. I love hiking, I love climbing, I love backpacking, I love mountaineering, and I also love biomedical engineering and computer science, which are not the most outdoorsy things to do, but I do think that, especially this trip has reminded me that there are things that I can do that can start to combine them. So like stuff like low-cost medical devices, where you're looking at how to take advancements that we have in like top-tier trauma and surgical centers and how to bring them to a broader population. Like that still gives you the chance to like interact with people and go out and experience the world and still do the things that I love to do. So I'm still not at like a place where I think I have the correct answer or like the path, but I think I'm getting closer to it, and this trip has certainly helped remind me of that.
Well, but it's at least consistent. Yeah, that's good.
This Duke OA trip to me is a step in a new direction for the program. I've only been with the OA program for a year now, but I'm so excited about this growth that is happening, and I'm very fortunate to have been a part of it and hopefully to continue to be a part of it in the future. I think besides that, being able to experience all the intricacies of the Hindu religion is very interesting, very fascinating, and very worthwhile. And also just to spend time in one of the most beautiful places in the world with all of my friends and coworkers is something super special and something I'll never take for granted.
This Duke OA trip means it's a culmination of many years of work to finally get students here. I've been through challenges with COVID. We had some challenges with some political things going on with India and Pakistan this year. It's just been on my heart and on my mind to be able to provide an opportunity like this to students who just crave it. And ever since coming to Duke and starting to be the director of Outdoor Adventures, I have sought ways to incorporate opportunities like this into the schedule that fits Duke students. It's been very easy to find Duke students that want to come out and do things like this. They're open to experience. They're open to stepping outside their comfort zone. I know me growing up, like I had so many opportunities like that where someone, spent time with me out in the field and taught me not just how to technically climb a mountain, but like how to mentally prepare myself for the hardship. And so this trip means everything to me. It's the start of our expedition program, where we want to offer these off the beaten path, way outside the comfort zone trips that really enrich and grow students that are going to be leaders that I'm going to be reading about in National Geographic and in a couple years and stuff like that. This trip fills my cup as far as like kind of the passion that I have for giving tomorrow's leaders like opportunities to sit in our evening meetings and to hear the debriefs of what they appreciate about this, what was hard, what they learned, what they're going to take back. I don't know, it's exactly why we're out here. It's exactly why we burn 3 times the amount of calories every day that we're taking in, is just to give that opportunity to the students. But it's also like we leave every ethnocentric view back behind us. And students are here existing in a place that they're not a part of, but when they leave, they do become a part of it. They take a part of it with them. And that's exactly why we're out here doing this.